Monday night's game means what to the future of the NFL?
Well, I think it's the exclamation point on what took place in the Super Bowl last year. I thought being in that stadium to watch the Eagles give up 600 yards and still win a Super Bowl, that was definitely something that was going to be felt in a big way in the personnel room. And I think that game, what everybody was watching last night, was kind of the exclamation point. And I tweeted out after the game, this is a bad day to be a run-stuffing defensive tackle that's entering into the draft, because you watched that game last night, and I think we would all agree you've got top 5 quarterbacks, but you also had top 5 running backs, and arguably the best running back in the NFL in Todd Gurley. And you look at the way that game went, they decided to give Todd Gurley 12 carries. They gave Kareem Hunt 14 carries. Mahomes threw it 46 times, and Goff threw it 49 times. So if you're drafting defensive linemen, do you want them to have an impact on the 49 pass plays or on the 12 run plays? So, like I was in Baltimore when we drafted Haloti Ngata, one of my favorite players I've ever scouted, was a great player for our team there. And right now in the current climate, I don't think he would be a first-round pick, because if you can't get to the quarterback, your value is so greatly diminished, and that goes to a bunch of different positions as well. You need playmakers on offense. You need on defense, again, defensive linemen, you got to have 2 pass rushers. And then outside of those pass rushers, you need some guys that can just make plays. You're going to give up a 20-yard run here or there. Who cares? Who can generate a turnover? So that's kind of where everything's headed.
But I also wonder, I feel like you can scheme on offense, but you have to have players on defense. You have to have speed. You have to have speed on defense. I mean, if you look at the bad defensive teams, Dan, they are slow. Ebukam ran 4.5 flat coming out of Eastern Washington. He made 2 huge plays in that game. Aaron Donald ran 4.65. Obviously, we know how great he is. But you have to be dynamic and fast on defense, and you sacrifice a little bit of size, no question. Offensively, I do think coaching-wise, scheme is huge. That goes back to the old Bill Walsh way of building a team, which is I'll spend all my first-round picks on defensive players because you got to have the athletes on that side of the ball where I can work around my scheme a little bit on offense. Yeah, I truly believe that. But if I said that you could have to start your team Aaron Donald or Todd Gurley,
I would take Aaron Donald. Again, I love Todd Gurley, but I just think in a passing league, and finding interior pass rushers is probably the toughest thing to find. Outside, tackles right now is darn near impossible because of the way the college game has been played. We're just not seeing a lot of good offensive tackles enter the league. But interior pass rushers is right there. So I would go with an interior pass rusher. I mean, you watch that game. I mean, Todd Gurley's better than Kareem Hunt, no question. But Kareem Hunt's a really good player. They got him in the 3rd round. So I'll pay the premium, and I'll take the interior pass rusher.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.